The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
All right, guys, welcome back. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle and Business Show. So I want to welcome you guys to a new episode. If you have been, hold on one second. If you have been tuning in to the Coach's Corner, Coach's Corner is now defunded, and we are going directly into Habit-Based Lifestyle and Business Show. And one of the things that I really want to talk about is decisions we make in our business. And sometimes the decisions we make in our business just don't make sense. And I will tell you that, doing the Coach's Corner, it made total sense. It was a great idea. However, the name, I think sometimes is confusing because, here we are, habit-based lifestyle. Here we are, all these things. And yet we're doing this show called the Coach's Corner. And so as you guys are watching this today, I want to be the first one to start out by simply saying, it's important for us as a business owner, husband, father, whatever it is, leader, to admit things in life that may not have been the best decision we made. So I will say, hey, Coach's Corner wasn't a bad idea. It was actually a great idea, the concept, but the way it was delivered, the way it was named didn't really match up with the brand. It kind of was confusing. And so I want to be the first one to start out by saying, well, listen, sometimes we have great ideas, but the other side of that is, we make bad decisions on hey, I'm starting this thing called the Coach's Corner, yet doesn't really match up with anything I have in my brand. And so in doing that, it's confusing. And so I want to strip away the confusion. I want to strip away all of those things because I really believe the program that I offer and the program that we have is to simplify what we're doing in business, in our lifestyle, so that we can, maximize what we're doing, not only from optimizing our lifestyle, but also being able to optimize our business. So one thing that I recognize is I feel like people have too many programs, too many offers, too many moving pieces. And I really just wanted to get clear on, okay, what is this show really about? After all, it's on my podcast, Habit-Based Lifestyle, which is, 285 episodes in. And so to keep that in alignment with what I'm doing there, this is the Habit-Based Lifestyle and Business Show. And so moving forward, this is the show. This is what we're going to call it. It's in congruency with my brand. But today I'm letting you know I'm making a shift in my business, and I'm always going to make a shift and make things simpler. So I just wanted to clear that out of the way, first and foremost. Caleb, how do you feel about that, man?
I feel pretty good. I like it. And the one thing I like the most about the way Jesse operates and runs and also teaches other people is he doesn't sit around and wait until he has the perfect idea to act on something to help his business. He goes, even with half-baked or three-fourths baked idea, he goes all in on it and he edits and changes along the way. He doesn't wait for perfection. He starts to create the perfection. And just like in habit-based lifestyle, it was not the same a year ago or 2 years ago, right? Jesse has evolved the idea of his brand, the way he influences other people, and even the way he serves his clients. But a lot of people won't put out content. A lot of people won't serve their clients in a way that they need because they think they have to get it perfect in their head first and then act on it. But the one thing that is great about HBL is we will fail and we will mess up, but we're constantly going to course correct and figure out what's the ultimate goal that we want and start moving there. And that's exactly what we did with this shift in our show.
So yeah, so with that being said, I mean, you got to brought up a great point is like we want things to be perfect. You know, hey, I've been there too. We want things to be perfect before we launch. We want to have all of these things in order. And really what I'm hearing you say is like, okay, listen, like even for myself, I'm like, all right, here's Caleb watching me do this show. He's probably like, dude, why are you calling it Coach's Corner? Even though you wouldn't say anything, but like, here I am, you know, leading you and you're watching me and you're like, all right, like most guys are going to wait till they're 80, 90% perfect, maybe even 95 before they launch. I mean, we really just launched this literally like 2-3. I'm like, dude, we should do a show. And you're like, yeah, all right, cool. And we just launched it. And so
I'm like, and the first question was like, am I going to be in it or is this a you thing?
Yeah. So
yeah.
no, you're in it with me. So as we're going forward, if you guys are watching this, like, hey, what is the one thing you're waiting to be perfect to launch? Maybe it is a show. Maybe it's, you know, some program in your business. Maybe it's something new. But like, I think the key point in this is like, we all wait to launch until it's perfect or the right time. And the right time is now. Like the right time is right here, right now, whether it's you launching a business, launching a new program, like even if you're only like 40% there, I will tell you that you will put more leverage on yourself by launching right now, today, than you will to get it done, than you ever will waiting around for shit to be perfect. And so if you're literally tuning in, it's like, hey, here's what I know. People are waiting all the time to launch. We have this perfection thing, like, oh, I gotta wait to do this, I gotta wait to do this. Launching will leverage your ability to get shit done faster than anything else. And that may be the biggest lesson you could learn today. And you know, Caleb's the one who taught you that. So
yeah. So if you guys are tuning in live right now, there's 5 people on here live. Anytime we ask a question, we're not just throwing out a question. We want you guys to interact and engage. So comment below. I'll write down the question again. But what right now in your business are you thinking about taking action on that you haven't yet taken action on because you're afraid or it's not quote unquote perfect to you yet, that you haven't even taken the first step in? So comment below.
Dude, who is this guy? Like this guy's like taking over the show. It's the second show or third show of 2021. And I already got you like taking over the show, man.
I will have to say, I do learn from the best when it comes to on-screen presence. So
nice.
Yeah, there we go. So Michael Scardasius just commented. He said launching his program with nothing planned. That's the one thing that he's hasn't taken next step on.
Yeah, so he actually did launch it. So like I said, man, launching is leveraging. Okay, launching will leverage your ability to get things done faster at a higher rate. So the minute I launch something, I'm already throwing myself into the mix, into the battle, and I'm already going to start to figure stuff out at a faster rate versus just waiting around until I got all the details figured out. Like, what am I going to teach? What am I going to do? Here's the cool thing. The people you're signing up have no idea. Like you guys watching this, even right now, you have no idea what's going on between Coach's Corner and Habit-Based Lifestyle Show. To you, it might as well be the same thing. So that's the thing for you is the clients you're signing up have no idea one way or another what the program is, what the program isn't. So guess what? You have the ability to be a week ahead, a day ahead, a month ahead. You don't have to be 100 steps ahead, like we often, think that we do. You can change it up on the fly. We got Josh, a new revamped therapy program. Perfect. Like, number one thing is like you get excited, like sell yourself. So I sold myself on the vision of, Coach's Corner, the show inside this group. Then I was like, okay, well, listen, I'm going to start making some changes to it right away in the first like 6-7 weeks. So for you guys, when you launch a new program, understand this, that you're going to evolve the program. It's not like it's just set in stone. It's not going to be there forever the exact same way. So as you think about, like I'm looking at Brandon, 6-month evolution program. It's been 2 years in the making. So that 2 years in the making, think about this. That is 4 6-month cycles that you have waited. That is 12 3-month cycles that you have waited to launch this program, which, hey, I know you signed up for habit-based lifestyle, and we're not going to wait that long or let you wait that long. But just to give you an idea of, like, imagine if you launch this in the first 3 months of thinking about doing this, and you just lost the story of, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I want to ask you guys this question if you're watching this. And this is a serious question. Who would you be? Maybe as a business owner. I'll use Brandon. Who would you be as a business owner if you weren't waiting around for it to be perfect? If you weren't waiting to launch for it to be perfect? Michael Scardassis. Who would you be as a business owner if you weren't waiting around for perfection or for every little piece to be perfect? Because guess what? If you're waiting for the stars align, when is the last time you've seen stars align? When is the last time you've seen stars align, right? When's the last time you've seen a solar eclipse?
A couple weeks ago, when Elon Musk launched his Starlinks in the sky, I literally saw like 6 of his stars. Like he literally shot up like satellites into space, and they were trailing each other, like 6 of them, like 6 lights in the sky at this, like traveling like a meteor shower, following each other. But I think that's the closest thing I've seen to stars aligning, and that was.
But when is the last time you've seen that before that?
Never.
Okay, so if we're waiting for everything to be perfect, or stars align, or for Elon Musk to send up 6 stars, like, dude, we're going to be waiting a whole lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're going to wait 2 years. We're going to wait, 3 years. We're going to wait 5 years, and we're going to keep telling ourselves, oh, I got to learn this new thing. And so for you guys, like, what's the one thing that you need to launch in the next 30 days, or you want to launch in the next 30 days, 15 days, whatever it is? And, again, launching something will leverage your ability to get things done at a faster rate. Okay. Not only that, but if I would have waited around for things to be perfect before I launched this show, man, I would have went through, I need a new logo. I need a new this. I need a new that. I just would have never done it. I would have still been sitting here 6 weeks later. And instead of this being really the 12th episode I've done, it wouldn't even be the first. And so by me going and doing this the last 6 weeks, it's allowed me to evolve. Okay. And one point that I really want to make for you guys is you will never evolve your business if you're waiting around for perfection. You will never evolve inside of your life and your lifestyle if you're waiting for things to be perfect before you launch them, before you move forward on them. Because here's the thing is, in order for me to really evolve as a person, I have to make mistakes. I have to fail forward. And that gets me better at what I'm doing. But if I'm just waiting and I'm like, man, I got to learn this, I got to learn that, you're never actually going to learn more than taking a leap forward. Okay. And I always think of, like, did you learn more from falling down, or did you learn more from standing up? Because when you fall down, you learn how to get back up faster. You realize that when you fall down, it doesn't actually hurt as bad as you thought it would. And so in doing that, that is the ultimate way that we evolve, is by learning from the mistakes we're making, the failures we're making. And also, like, I mean, at the end of the day, me launching this or launching anything new gives me the ability to create and build. And that is the best place that I can be. Like, we were all called to create in our life, in our business. Every one of us has the ability to create. Every one of us has the ability to build. And if you're not doing that, then you're really just staying stagnant where you're at. I got to grab something. So go ahead and take over from there.
Yeah, I was gonna just reiterate again, with this new habit-based lifestyle and business show. Every Wednesday, we're going to be coming on and talking to you guys about business habits, not only tactical business habits that you guys can do to directly increase your revenue, but also mindset habits that will also help you tackle those tactical habits. So inside of business, inside of habit-based lifestyle, not only do we talk about the tactical habits on how to directly get new leads, how to sell more of your program, but we also talk about the mental habits that you have to take or have to have and practice. And that's exactly what Jesse does, is he practices failing forward all the time. And I was going to ask you a question too, Jesse. When you're thinking about when you first started Coach's Corner and you're first starting a new program, how do you break past that mental block that I bet a lot of business owners have, that I even have, of starting something new that you know is not going to land on the first try or first go? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think the bigger thing is the mental block is our lack of confidence in ourselves. So like me saying I got to have things perfect is just a story I tell myself to keep myself from actually like stepping out.
Mm,
And what I mean by stepping out is stepping out and doing something I've never done. So it's kind of like, well, if it's not perfect, then what would it be? And so I really go through kind of a series of questions like, hey, who would I be as a businessman if I was no longer afraid just to launch anything, launch a show, launch, a podcast, launch a new program. Like, ultimately, I'm going to second guess every decision I make when I do that. That's not the issue. The issue is am I hesitating or am I holding myself back? And that becomes the issue, because ultimately, you're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to fail. But here's the cool thing is no mistake is ever really that bad that we can't fix it. And so that's what I always tell people is like, listen, most of your mistakes, most people aren't even going to notice. Most of your mistakes, you're the only one who's going to notice. And so those are all great ways for us to kind of hold ourselves back. But like, ultimately, man, I know this. There's a voice. I think I did a show on this or a podcast on this. There's the voice of reason, right? And so the voice of reason is the one that tells us everything, every reason why we shouldn't do something, which tends to be kind of, I don't want to say negative, but it tends to kind of be from a place of lack,
yeah.
telling us like, hey, we're not good enough. We're not, it's not perfect. It's no one's going to sign up. That's the voice of reason. It's giving us a reason why we shouldn't do something. And then we have the voice of wisdom, where I would call it the voice of God, but the voice of wisdom is where it's saying like, listen, there's this soft whisper saying, hey, you should launch this show. Then the voice of reason kicks in right away and is like trying to tell you why you shouldn't launch it. But that voice of wisdom is telling you that because that's the very thing that we should be doing. And so I always look at the voice of wisdom as the one that kind of whispers, hey, you need to start the show. I don't really care like what you call it. I don't really care what it is, but I think you need to start it. The voice of reason will kick in right away and say, okay, well, no, you shouldn't. No one's going to listen. But the more that we exercise that, the more that we can realize that, hey, there's two distinctions in these voices. There's one that's going to give me reasons and excuses on why not. And then there's another one that's going to tell me why, like, I should be doing this. Like, just go launch it. You'll figure it out along the way. And so that's the one I'm paying attention to, knowing that the other one is going to come up at some point in time.
Yeah, we all have this voice of reason. Some people's voice of reason versus voice of wisdom speaks louder. If you guys are watching this live or on the replay, raise your hand in the comments if the voice of reason has ever stopped you from really tackling or getting closer towards what you want. I know for me, 100%, I listen to a lot of the voice of reason because it sounds reasonable. It sounds reasonable. But a lot of times we have to quiet that voice and listen to the whisper of wisdom. So that was a great start into launching into business habits, talking about the mindset behind business habits, which is the habit of actually failing or starting something. And Jesse, in my opinion, has some of the best habits when it comes to business. And I see now that it's because he doesn't wait for perfection, but he just takes that step forward and he creates the path along the way as he's walking on the path he's building. So as we move into more business habits, Jesse, what are the top, like we talk about business habits a lot. What are some of the business habits that we're going to be talking about today for the people watching at home?
Yeah. So one thing I want to do is I want to talk about business habits that have helped me build, multiple 6 and 7 figure businesses to multiple 7-figure businesses, and even be able to sell them. But one thing that I really want to stress to people is I can't tell you how many business owners that I've talked to, and I can look back at my business years ago and say that I never had these. And so the reason why I want to teach you guys these is because these are the things that are going to change your business on a day-to-day level. These are the things that we work on with, clients, and we can go as deep as you want into a habit, or we can be as surface level as you want into a habit. But either way, doing these, even at a surface level, you should see results immediately. And so the one thing that I recognize in a lot of the business owners that I worked with, that I would sit down with them and I would say, man, what are your business habits? And a lot of them would be like, well, I work out, I meditate, I do a green drink, I do this and I do that. I'm like, okay, so I get that, but tell me how that directly impacts your revenue and your business on a day-to-day basis. And they would say, well, if I work out, then I have more energy. And so therefore, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, I can see that, but like, tell me how working out every single day is going to bring in a lead to your business. Tell me how working out every single day is going to get you into a sales conversation. Tell me how working out is going to help you produce some type of content every single day. And so once we got to that place, they started to realize that meditation, they started to realize that working out, they started to realize that most of the habits, doing a green drink or taking supplements, did not directly impact the bottom line in their business. And so these are habits. I love those habits. I believe working out is amazing. I believe that, meditation, prayer, things like that, these are things that can directly impact your business. I believe that eating healthy food are things that can directly impact your energy. So I don't want you to think that. But what I want you to realize is this: none of these things will put money in your business. So I can't say, listen, I'm going to go work out and then that's going to put money in the bank, or that's going to get me. It could, if you were getting paid to work out, or if you're at a gym and you're working out and getting clients, but like most 99% of people aren't going to do that. And so the habits I'm going to walk you through today, at least 3 of them, these are going to be the top 3 things that I learned how to work with. So number 1 is leads. Okay. So making leads a habit. How do we make leads a habit? The number one way we make leads a habit is how many people am I meeting and talking to on a day-to-day basis. Now, there's a couple ways you could think about this. Number one is we could do it the way I used to do it when I first started my gym. And I can tell you this, that I've had a lot of experience with this to the point where I remember one of the first gym jobs I had, the manager told me in my interview, because he thought I was quiet, believe it or not, he's like, listen, I need you to go out and introduce yourself to 5 people. Okay. And this is when I'm like 22, 23 years old. I was a punk then. I was still a couple of years older than Caleb, but he said, I need you to go introduce yourself to 5 people, come back, tell me their goals, tell me their name. Or, you don't do that, you don't get a second interview for this job. And I was like thinking to myself, like, listen, I'd love to just punch this guy in the face. But I really needed a job at the time. And so I went out on the gym floor and I met 5 people. And I got their goals. I got their names. I probably got turned down like 5 other times from other people. They're just like, dude, I just want to work out. And so I got those 5 names. I came back and I kind of laid them out and I was like, hey, here's all their goals. And I ended up getting the job. And so in that taught me a very valuable lesson. And that it was like, I had to go talk to people on a day-to-day basis. So the next 30 days, as I got this job at the gym, I would literally all day long when I was at work, I would go out, introduce myself to people, and guess what I would do? What are your goals? Why are you working out? And for the first 30 days, I could tell you that 85 to 90% of people would be like, dude, leave me alone. Don't talk to me. I just want to work out. And so about 3 weeks in, I decided that I was just going to go around, and instead of asking them that question, I was going to ask them, hey, can I spot you? Can I help you, with your workout? And one of the things that I realized is a lot of these people, they started saying, yeah, man, I need a spot. Or I would be like, hey, can I show you a different way to do that exercise that would be more effective? So I started leading with value instead of just asking people, like, what do they want? And so in leading with value, they began to trust me. They began to get to know me. They began to get to like me. So going forward in the next 60 days, those same people began to tell me what their goals were. They began to talk to me just as a normal person because they knew me, they liked me, and trusted me. By the end of this first 60 days, I was working in this company. The next 30 days, I would lead the gym in sales. I didn't sell really anything my first 60 days. All I did was just prospect. I just would go in, meet people. And so one of the things that I really truly believe is leads are the key to your business. Okay. And what does that mean? That means that I have to talk and communicate with new people every single day. I have to get to know them. I have to understand them. And sometimes I just got to lead with value. The best value I could have let in at that time was just asking them, hey, can I spot you? Can I show you a different way to do this exercise? I didn't even want to say, can I show you a better way? Because then it felt like they were doing something really stupid the way they were doing it. And so as I began to do this, within 90 days, I was a number 1 trainer in the gym. Within 6 months, I was a number 1 trainer in the company. Okay. To the point where I was actually the guy's boss within a 12 months that had told me to go out and, basically meet these people where I wanted to literally punch him. So I was his boss a year later.
Wow.
Yeah. So with that, the story is that leads are your lifeline of your business. If you don't have leads, I don't really care if you have referrals. I don't care because I used to tell the same story. Look, I get all referrals from my business, which is great. But guess what? If I can get referrals, if I can get leads, I can get more marketing. That just builds my business. So don't rely on referrals as your main lead source because that should be icing on the cake. But here's the thing is like, how many conversations are you having every single day with potential prospects that are led with value. Okay. And what does that mean? That means every single day you should be meeting at least 10 to 15 brand new people. I don't really care if you're a local business, go meet 10 to 15 people locally. If you're online, go talk to 10 to 15 people. And again, lead with value. Talk about, like I said, I went from what are your goals to, hey, can I spot you? Can I show you a different way to do this exercise? So I was leading with value and I began to build know, like, and trust. And that's something that I continue to do today. I'm making sure that I'm talking to 10, 15 people. I can tell you that when I started my own gym, little 1,900 square foot place, okay, it was packed full of selectorized equipment. If you don't know what selectorized equipment, it's machines, okay? Literally within 2.5 years, it was so busy that we had to warm people up outside of that gym. We had to literally expand within that 2.5 years to double the size. And then within 5 years, we had 2 facilities. But all of that was started out by communicating with people every single day. And so leads is always the number one habit that you must have. And you might say, well, how does that a habit? Well, the habit is I have to communicate and talk to 10 to 15 new people every single day. Okay. 10 to 15 new people every single day for a week turns into 15 to 75 people if I'm doing it 5 days, or 50 to 75 people. I do that for a month. Now we're talking about, hundreds of people I'm meeting every single day. Eventually, you're going to meet someone who's going to want to do business with you. The other thing is this. I think that's the most overrated thing that people misunderstand in business is you have to be able to communicate. Because I believe the way I work is I always communicate with people at the bottom, and then I figure out, okay, where's the person that I really want to know? And so in my gyms, I'm training this lady from the golf club. Okay. And all of a sudden, she's the best golfer in the golf club. I get her to lose weight. I get her and her friend to lose weight. And then next thing I know, I have all of their friends coming into my gym. Next thing I know, it's all the women of their friends coming in. Next thing I know, all their husbands want to start coming in. The next thing I know, the entire golf club is working out at my gym, which takes my gym from maybe 20 grand a month to 60, 70, $80,000 a month. Okay. So don't underestimate who you're communicating with, who you're talking to, the people you're meeting every single day. So that is like number one habit. Are you meeting 10 to 15 new people every single day? If you're not, you're stuck in your business working on that, and you're not getting outside of it or getting into different conversations.
Yeah. So don't miss what Jesse's saying. He's saying one of our business habits that constantly gets us leads is starting conversations. And how we start conversations is we go value first. We always push value first in our conversations, and we're constantly opening new conversations with new prospects, new leads every single day. And a lot of people do not do this again, because it ties back into the perfectionist, because maybe people are thinking, I don't want to look bad. I don't want to just randomly reach out to people. I don't have my message clear. I don't know the framework. They create all these excuses versus just starting. Our messaging was not great when we first started just randomly messaging people. We developed our messaging and our framework over time. We still are constantly doing that, seeing what lands with people the best, what value first added lands with people the best to make them want to engage and come into our space in our habit-based lifestyle and business secrets group. So don't miss what Jesse's saying. Constantly opening up conversations, even when you don't want to. Just like 22-year-old Jesse at the gym, he did not want to do it, but that's ultimately what got him the job. And also, another key piece that Jesse said was, not only did he just have to go introduce himself to 5 people or go find 5 people, but he had to find 5 people and find out what their goals were. So that's ultimately the goal for opening up conversations, getting messaging leads, is you got to find out where they are and where they want to go as it relates to the industry or business that you're in.
Good. And, number one thing on that too is like, it doesn't matter where we meet him. Okay. Whether we meet him online, whether we meet him in person, just go meet him. Okay. But I will tell you this, that right now, if I would have had Facebook or social media when I was 22, I would have like 5x'd what I was doing when I was 22, because I knew how to hustle and I knew how to do things like that. And so in doing that, it's how many people can I communicate with to get to the top of the person who's going to impact my business. So I have to sort through that. But along the way, you're going to meet people, you're going to help people, and you're going to lead with value. Okay. I led with value. Hey, what are your goals? Instead of what are your goals? Like, hey, I changed it up. Hey, can I help you with your workout? Can I show you a different way to do that? Can I spot you? Because everybody needs a spotter, right? Whether it be in business or in the gym. And so I realized that, like, hey, every single person that comes to the gym, they probably need a spotter, or they need someone to maybe help them do something better. And if I could help save you that time and energy, that meant I led with value. So the next thing that we go into is sales. And you're gonna be like, okay, like, I don't know how this really makes sense in my business, but you have to get into a minimum of 5 sales conversations every single day. So whether it be selling a call, selling, a solution, or selling, your idea of actually like selling someone. Those are 3 different sales conversations. I'm selling, maybe a first time call. I'm selling, the next call, or I'm selling them to go somewhere that I want them to go so that I can give them more value. Or I'm in a sales conversation where it's like, hey, here's my program, here's what I do. So that's another thing. That if you get into sales conversation, you get into 5 sales conversations every single day, you're going to begin to equip yourself with the skill set and mindset. Number 1, that you can be turned down to say no. Number 2, and you can be okay with that. Number 2, because really a no just is one step closer to a yes. Number 2, you have to be good at talking about sales. So number 1, you got to be good at selling your first phone call. You got to be good at selling your next phone call. You got to be good at a sales conversation. Okay. So sales is going to be the lifeline of your business, because you can get leads, but if you can't sell them, you're in trouble. So get used to getting turned down. I actually had my son's friends that I train once or twice a week. They asked me last night, they said, hey, they're asking me advice about girls. And I said, listen, the number 1 thing you could do is ask out as many girls as you can, because you need to get used to getting turned down. And he's like, and they all kind of looked at me weird. And I said, well, listen, the guy who's not afraid to get turned down usually gets the best looking girl. The guy that's afraid to get turned down usually ends up with not a very good looking girl. And so sales is the same way. If you're not afraid to get turned down, when you go into a sales conversation, you have much more chance at closing people to the next conversation, to the next thing. But if you're afraid to be told no, if you're afraid someone doesn't want to buy what you're selling, you're going to go into that conversation in fear. People are going to smell that, and they're not going to want to do business with you. These are the number 1 things that I will tell you guys straight up. At 17 years old, I started selling drugs. And I will tell you that these are the things that I learned at a young age. Is you're selling something that you have to keep quiet. It's really hard to just walk around and tell everybody. So you have to select very few people. But in doing that, that taught me a valuable lesson about sales. Okay. I had to constantly talk to myself about, okay, I'm not going to get turned down. I know exactly who my avatar is, even though I didn't know what the heck that was then. I knew who my avatar was. I knew what my message was. And I knew how to kind of create a human funnel, because back then there was no click funnels, there was only human funnels. So we're teaching you, and I'm teaching you habits right now, but these habits are really the habits of a human funnel. Okay, human funnel is like, hey, they're coming in, right? Right here, leads. I'm talking to everybody, or I'm talking to as many people as possible. Now we're getting into sales conversation. The funnel starts to shrink. Okay. But you have to be willing to get into a sales conversation. You have to be willing to be told no. And you have to be okay with telling no. The number one place you could learn to be told no, go to Mexico. Okay. Go to Mexico and go hang out on the beach just for like 3 hours and watch how many times these guys that sell stuff on the beach are told no. They're told no so much, no doesn't even phase them. No's like, okay, now I got no means like, okay, there's one no, I got 5 more and then I'm going to sell them. So they want to hear no like 5 to 7 times. I actually asked the guys like, dude, what happens when people tell you no? It's like, I just reword it. Your kids are great at that. Your kids are some of the best salespeople ever, because you'll be like, no, you can't have that candy. And they're like, why not? I'm like, because I said no. Well, why are you saying no? And they'll figure out 5 other ways to ask you the same question to get to a yes. So,
and ultimately they get the candy.
Yeah. Or it doesn't keep them from not trying. So I always use the analogy of like, listen, the more people you ask, the more opportunity you have.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah. So if I ask 100 people, I have 100 opportunities. Okay. If I ask 10 people, I have 10 opportunities. Which person do you really think is going to be more successful? The person who asked 10, kind of waited around for the right client, the perfect moment, or the person who's asking 100, realizing, hey, I don't care if they say no, that I know every no, I'm going to get one step closer to a yes.
Yeah. So I want to pass off the question to the people watching. Are you guys having sales conversations every day? Are you guys making it a habit to actively have sales conversations? So comment below, yes or no. Are you actively having sales conversations? And if you're not, why is that? Is it because of your leads? Is it because you're scared? Is it because of something mental?
There's only one reason why.
Business? Why?
People don't want to be told no. People are scared to be told no. Okay. It's no different. Like, dude, you're single. What's the thing that you're scared most of when you go up to a girl? A new
rejection,
girl.
if she says no.
Okay. So with that mindset, you go up to the girl and your biggest fear is to be told no. Guess what she's going to read?
The insecurity.
Right. And so she's going to tell you no, not because she doesn't like you, but because she feels your insecurity. She feels your energy. Same thing, sales conversation, right? We're either selling or buying all the time. Okay. So you have to understand that every conversation is a sales conversation. Every opportunity is a sales conversation to either give someone more value, get on a call with them, and try to help them solve their problem. Okay. So when you go into the conversation, that's the biggest thing. That's why a lot of times we see, really cute girls with not so cute guys. Guy's not afraid to get turned down, right? So he goes up and asks all these girls out. So like he has more opportunity. Sales are no different. Okay. We're always trying to sell someone on the next opportunity, sell someone with value, what we could help them with, and lead from that place. Who cares if you get rejected? Okay. But that is a huge fear people have. People don't like that. Like, I come from a personal training industry. Number one reason most trainers sucked at selling, they were afraid to be told no.
So not only on Wednesdays are we talking about business habits, but we're also talking about stuff you can teach your kids, especially on how to get girls. So if you got kids out there and they're struggling to talk to girls, or your girls are struggling to talk to guys, business habits can be directly implemented right into your lifestyle habits, and perfect lesson for your kids. Boom.
And if you have girls, don't just tell them to turn down every guy.
That's how you build the men stronger, the next generation of men stronger. You just tell the girls to constantly reject the guys.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
So, I mean, if you think about now, we have phones, we have, Facebook, we have all these social media. One thing that it's kind of helped. It's not helped, but it's hurt us from like being able to have a face-to-face interaction with someone and being okay being told no, or just, having that in there, because ultimately, that's what most people are afraid of, is to be told no, to be turned down, all those things. And so that keeps us from asking, people, asking them anything, whether it be, hey, do you want to go out to dinner? Going out to dinner is no different than like, hey, do you want to jump on a 15-minute call and find out, if I can help you? Okay. Because they're both coming from the same thing. Like, I'm getting rejected. Nobody wants to get rejected. However, if you understand rejection isn't necessarily a no, it's not with what you're coming at me with. So like, kind of like I talked about, was like, okay, here I am, leading people and asking them, hey, what are your goals? But I really wasn't really getting to know them. And so I changed that up and I started leading with, hey, can I give you a spot? And so that came across completely different, And so I led with a different value, and that value was what it was hitting. So if you're getting turned down and rejected, you may need to lead with some different value, whether it be in your dating life or in a sales conversation.
Yeah, one thing my dad would always say is if you don't give people a reason to reject you, you can't give them a reason to accept you. So um, that's what I live by a lot. Is I give people a reason to reject me, and I also give people on the other side who reject me a reason to accept me.
Nice.
So next business habit, we've talked about leads, we talked about sales. What's another business habit that you have, Jesse, that's helped you grow your business into a 6 to 7 figure business?
Yeah. So content is going to be huge. So you have, I think last time we counted like 42 to 50 different platforms for free that we can post content on.
Hmm.
So there's two mistakes I see people make with this. Number one mistake they make is they're posting content not relevant to, their ideal client. So that's second mistake. First mistake is they're not posting any content. They're afraid to do video. They're afraid to write. They're afraid to just post in general. And so with that being said, is the only way to get better at something is to do it, right? Do it
Hmm.
consistently. So number one, lead with content in the beginning. Again, it's going to suck. It's not going to be great. But the important thing is that we have to put content out on platforms. I usually recommend spending 80% of your time on one platform. And you can spend the other 20% on some other platforms, but that's number one. Like, spend time on one platform, get an idea of what you need to do, what people, like, what they don't like, what they respond with. And then obviously lead with value. So, biggest thing I see a lot of people is they're just posting random stuff. There's no value in what you're creating. And sometimes you could just ask yourself, hey, is this post leading with value? Or like, what's the purpose of it? If you can't understand that, then, you're going to be hurting. So what type of content you might be saying? Like, listen, every single day you need to get used to posting some type of content. I've heard people say do a video every day. That's great. But if you suck at video, people aren't going to watch you. So figure out what you feel like you do best. Is it writing? Is it video? Is it, telling stories? Whatever it is, and do that first, get your confidence up, and then you can start going into other stuff. One thing that I do tell a lot of the guys inside of Habit-Based Lifestyle is I say, listen, if you feel more confident on video, do a video, and then transcribe your video and then you can make it a long copy post. If you feel more confident doing long copy and writing that, do that. And then you can make a video from that and kind of have the key points in it. But whatever it is, like, make sure the content you're putting out is you're leading from a place of value, which means my ideal client would want to read this. My ideal client would want to look at this, and my ideal client would want to comment on this, because I see a lot of people, posting things that have nothing to do with their ideal client, and they're just kind of random things.
Yeah. And not only is it important to post content, but it has to become a habit, a daily habit, a consistent thing where you're constantly posting value and coming up with new content to provide value for the people you're talking to your ideal client. And like Jesse said, the biggest mistakes that people make are not posting at all, and also posting the wrong things, talking to the wrong group of people. If you're not posting relevant content to your target audience, then you will never attract people to your business. And that's what posting content is about, is putting yourself out there to create the attraction for when people go onto your social media page.
Yeah. So here's what I'll tell you. With that being said, you're posting every day, as people will be more attracted to you by your consistency than anything you'll post.
Mm,
So
wow.
remember, this is like, people want to work with people who are consistent. People want to work with people who show up consistently. And people want to work with people who bring value into the marketplace. And if you can remember that, is when you're posting content, be consistent first. Number two, is this helping my ideal client, my ideal avatar? Yes or no? And share things about yourself and experiences you've had. And again, if you feel more confident in doing video, do video. If you feel more confident in long copy, do long copy, storytelling. I don't really care. Like, okay, so like, I mean, I was terrible. I still wouldn't consider myself very good at video, but I am way more comfortable, at least on camera. But I could tell you, when I first started doing video almost 5.5, 6 years ago, like, I would literally get on camera and like have everything that I was going to say, like, all kind of written out. And like, I was like, I was just like stuttering. I couldn't even talk. And I'm like, dude, this is so embarrassing. But I did, I think like, I committed to doing 90 videos in 90 days. I ended up doing like 121 in a row every single day. I did not miss once. So that taught me being consistent was number one. Number two, it got me more confident behind the camera. Number three is I still sucked at videos after that. Okay. So like, I just got confident. I just got better at like, getting rid of the voice of reason before I would get on there. I would just shoot it right away. My peak time to kind of do video was always right after my workout, because I felt like I had the most energy. So kind of like figure out a peak time for you to either write, find out a peak time for you to either shoot like video where you have the most energy, and just do it and be consistent with it at time every day. Like, hey, every day I'm going to post at 8 a.m. Every day I'm going to post at 7 a.m. And you'll even see that I try to get all of my posts out by like 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m. every single day, because I've had that habit for the last like 5-6 years. And you stop worrying about having the perfect video. I would say like your imperfect video will get way more views than your perfect video. Every video that I thought I crushed it, like nobody paid attention to it. The videos where I was like, damn, this is like the worst video, those are the ones that people would comment on more.
Yeah. And it didn't matter. You would have good videos, bad videos. When I watch your videos, I know that you're very clear and concise and to the point, as you are in real life. And it doesn't matter whether it's a good video or bad video. But what does matter is the consistency that you're constantly putting out videos, and people are going to land on a good video. People are going to land on a bad video. But at least they're landing on a video. And I know I've done live videos. I did, I think, 2 or 1.5 years of doing live videos straight, just sharing what I learned from that day, the lesson that I learned from that day. And I can say for sure, when I first started out doing videos, I sucked at it. I was like, okay, what are the things I have to talk about? And I would stutter and I would pause, and I wouldn't have full clarity on what I was even talking about myself. But after a couple months of literally every single day doing a live video, I got better at getting to the point. I got better looking into the camera. I got better just being on screen and talking where it actually makes sense to people who are watching. So if you're watching Jesse's videos in the habit-based lifestyle and business secrets group, he may be okay or good at it now, but just know when he first started, he was way worse. And that's where a lot of people who are going to start are going to be. You're not going to be a magician the first time you do a trick. It just takes constant repetitions and failing to get live videos or videos down, right? And not just videos, just content in general, just putting out content for your business. Your messaging isn't going to be perfect. Your presence isn't going to be perfect. Your graphics aren't going to be perfect. Your information that you're putting out there isn't going to be relevant. But as you keep doing it every single day, you're going to start fine tuning and smoothing the rough edges around your messaging and your content. And eventually you'll find a place where it's just pushing out content, thinking of new ideas, and you won't be as timid or scared, like you said, to quiet that voice of reason and just constantly trusting that voice of wisdom, even though it may be very uncomfortable.
Nice, man. I couldn't said it better myself. So here's the thing is, if you suck at video, the only way to get better is to do it. No different than like, hey, a white belt and a black belt. The difference of those two is the amount of reps that they have. So like number one is just get more reps. Like if you sucked at lifting weights, do you think sitting there watching other people lift weights is going to make you better at it? No. So you really have to become kind of a student of whatever you're doing. So if you want to learn how to do video, like I've hired 2 or 3 different people that help me with video. I've hired people to help me write copy. I've hired people to help me get better and teach me like a better way to do things. And so, but at the end of the day, if you don't do it, you're not going to get better at anything. And that's kind of the key point inside of that, is to make sure that you are, getting better, not only getting better, but you are, really learning how to upgrade your skill set in videos and long copy, all those things. So you can get more confident in what you're doing.
Yeah. Hey. So if you guys are watching this right now, to sum it up, we talked about the top or 3 business habits that Jesse has practiced over and over and over to build his business into a 6-7 figure business, lifestyle business. And the first one we talked about was leads. You have to be constantly opening up new conversations with people, either online or in person. Constantly opening up new conversations. And we do that by pushing value first. The second thing that we talked about was sales. You have to have sales conversations every single day. And the number one reason why people do not engage in sales conversations is because they are afraid of the no. They are afraid of the rejection, right? Just like every guy here knows, just like talking to girls, the reason why we don't talk to girls is because rejection or the no or the fear of that. And to overcome that literally just takes reps of taking the no, taking the loss. And the more losses you face, the more wins you'll also get as well. And the last thing that we talked about was content, creating content and putting content out there that's relevant to your audience. And not only that, but practice failing in your content and building out your content. Our content does not land every single time. We have terrible content sometimes, but we also have content that really engages people. It really gets people going and really gets people motivated and informs them on exactly what we do. So it's all about the consistency when it comes to content creation. So if you guys have gotten something out of today's show, please comment below your biggest takeaway from the business habits that we talked about today. Comment down below. If you're watching this on the replay or live, we would love to hear what you guys have learned from this so we can constantly improve our show and continue pushing value to what you guys need support inside of your guys' business. Jesse, is there anything else that you want to cover before we
today,
wrap up this video?
I mean, obviously you kind of wrapped it up pretty well. But today is business habits. Friday is going to be lifestyle habits. I may have a special guest on the show. I'm not going to announce it yet because I don't want to put her on the spot, but she may be on the show. She might not. But guys, so every Wednesday we're going to be doing business habits. Every Friday we're going to be doing lifestyle habits. It's not just going to be about habits. We're going to dive deeper into topics and things like that. But I think the most important thing is, like, if you want to improve your business and you begin to improve the bottom line in your business, like leads, talking and communicating, like Caleb said, with people every single day, getting into sales conversations, whether it be selling an appointment, selling a conversation, selling another step, and then ultimately being able to put out content. These are the three things that you could start doing immediately that would immediately impact the bottom line in your business. Do it for 90 days. See what happens. Because I know that inside of the gym space, lifting weights for 30 days, you can change a lot, but like you're probably not going to notice a whole lot until about 4 to 6 weeks in. But like, imagine how different your business would be doing these three things for 90 days at a time. Like, man, like you can change your entire business around just by doing this. No different than if you worked out 90 days, you didn't do anything of it before, or maybe you even did. You can change your entire health 90 days at a time. So your business is the same way.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you for being on here. If you guys are watching this, hashtag replay. If you're on the replay, if you are, listening to this on our podcast, text us HBL show, all caps. And we'll give you access to the behind the scenes stuff that we're doing for the Habit-Based Lifestyle Show. Text me at 949-506-5791. Again, that's HBL show in all caps. You just text the number 949-506-5791. We'll give you the most up-to-date info. We'll send you reminders of the show. And more importantly, you'll be entered in to be getting some giveaways, with whether it be hats, sweatshirts, things like that. So if you're watching this, make sure that you text those things. I want to thank you guys for being on here today. Caleb, as always, thanks for being on, and we will see you on Friday.
Peace.
Be with you.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse